The Ride Home podcast is produced for entertainment purposes only. Anything said on the show is not to be imitated or acted upon. Please listen responsibly and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Ride Home podcast. And if you're on your ride home, watch out for speed traps. Fuck the police. I'm just gonna go right into it. First off, 3 times in a row, 3 for 3 on the podcast. My first guest, Illusion. What is up?
What is good, my dudes, my peeps out there?
Next up, we have Stromboli, who was here in episode 1.
Woo!
Good intro, bro. Better than the last time. You're starting to elevate your game. And first time on the podcast, we have a new friend joining us today. This is Dom.
That's the way we rock and we roll, and that's the best to kill me from there. Because he said, you know what? I'm going to love that, brother, because you can understand where I'm coming from. Thought back.
See, that's how you intro, guys.
That was great, dude.
All right. As always, I am Cruz. We're going to get this thing started. Topic of the day. We're doing supernatural stories, and we're doing a round table. So this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. A couple of us had exchanged some stories at the beach house last year, and I just thought it would make really good content. I'm like, man, why am I not recording this, you know? So that's what we're going to do today. Does anybody want to go first? 'Cause I know some of you guys have been jonesing for this episode.
Yeah. If no one else wants to go first, I can go first and get some.
You can go first. Yeah,
I'm a little elevated, man. I'm trying to get my story straight. But yeah, take the floor.
Right. So we're gonna jump off with. I made some notes earlier. Mentioned it to some of these guys about a couple different topics, little notes I wanted to hit on. One of them is about one of the houses we lived in right before our family moved to Texas. Up north in Illinois, we had just left the Chicago area at the time, down further south of Illinois. Been up there. There's like a vast difference in like how the areas look because you go from up north Chicago area where everything is modern, you know, cityscape and whatnot, to complete backwaters, country, hill folk, children of the corn looking stuff.
The flatlands.
Yeah, it's a massive difference because there's no like middle ground. There's no like slow, like ease into just country roads. It's just, bam, hits you.
Hills have eyes, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
The boonies.
And where we were at was this little town. We're gonna censor like people's names and everything, but
yeah. Feel free. Like when you're telling your own personal story, if you want to put your spin on your censoring, go for that. You guys know your people better than I do.
People, yes, but I'm gonna name drop the town.
Okay, that's fine.
Little town of Yorkville. It's a lot bigger now. It's a lot more modern, but back then at the time, it was still very much like a super small community. Very much of like where, you know, you knew the entire neighborhood. You like the people who had lived there forever, know like generations back, like their great grandparents knew each other.
Everybody knows everybody.
Grandkids know each other, and just things of that nature. The house we moved into had been had different tenants because we were renting at the time because we were still in our transition of going to move down here to Texas. And they just could not keep people in the house, and we didn't know why. No one said anything. I was in middle school at the time, so, you know, I'm not wiser like an adult like I am now.
Right.
And they just, a bunch of BS excuses. Long story, like all the issues with the house, there was just so many different things wrong with it. Main issue, basement. Basements aren't common down here. From my understanding now as an adult, it's like it's the way that just like the earth is. It's too dry for housing to have basements down here.
Yeah.
for risk of earthquakes and everything. Uh, Same issue on the West Coast. Housing development problems aside, um, basements, cellars, and things like that, bomb shelters underground are super commonplace up there. This one um, had this very, I guess you would say, like a sense of dread when you walked inside of it. Like if you've ever walked into a room where everything feels fine and then you just walk in somewhere and it's just like the energy just caves in around you,
No, yeah.
where you are
Yeah.
just you feel uncomfortable, like it's like just a real sense of like uneasiness. Electricity wouldn't work in that room for nothing. Lights would go out, flashlights would go out, lighters would be blown out. The animals we are like a huge dog family. We love animals and all that. They absolutely hated it. Like beyond just being territorial and barking at things, like the step beyond that would be like when animals are actually like afraid, like claws into the dirt, would not move, would not go towards them, no matter how hard you would try to drag them into it, avoided it like the plague.
It's animals
Um,
and it's kids. I feel like they have a sense that, we lose as we age. Like
See,
there's
I
a
don't.
whole I don't know, man. Like when it's like you said, if the dog's staring in the corner and they just don't, they're easily saying, "Hey, I don't want to be over there."
And like, there's a difference between like an animal like being aggressive at an area, because that's I'm gonna touch on that later on after we've gone through, but the once to tell our little stories and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, there's a huge difference between like an animal like seeing something in the corner and like barking at it to trying attacking it, and an animal seeing and doing like looking at something the same way, but instead of trying to fight it, trying its hardest to run away from whatever they're seeing, which I think is
Ooh.
even scarier in my eyes. The fact that they can look in that same corner and one day like try to attack it and jump on it, and the next, oh shit, get me out of this house, get me out of here, I don't want to be here. And that's what they were doing at the time. And we didn't have little dogs. We've never been. I think right now, are these are the smallest dogs we've had, and they're all mid-sized. Back then, we had a Doberman, a Husky, and a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Big dogs, big, aggressive, defensive kind of dogs. Scared shitless of this room. Like, would whine all hours of the night anytime they were near it, because it was by the entrance of the house. You would walk in, on your right's the cellar, like where you would walk down the stairs, and then straight forward to get to the rest of the main parts of the house. Absolutely the worst time getting them in and out of the house this way. And we would go down there again. Lights would just not work at all. No, like just nothing. No power. No flashlights would kick on. Uh, Blamed it on. Yeah, we had a guy out there to look at it, because that's where your like water heater and things like that are. Um, Blamed it on something the way the house was built, like the leveling. But I'm like, that doesn't make sense looking back on it now and thinking, well, that's nonsense. But I'm not a house builder, so I wouldn't really know. Um,
I was
but
about to
then,
say, you seem it's like you knew something was wrong. How old were you back then?
uh, probably I just started eighth grade, so probably like 13, 14.
Okay.
Um, so like I guess like old enough to like kind of know better, but not old enough to like know my shit. if that's like a good enough description.
Yeah.
Had an older brother still in the house at the time. He was like 17, 18. Younger brother, like 10, 12. Uh, then parents. But yeah, it was just like all of us would like just hate being in there. And then after we had moved down to Texas, I think I was in my sophomore year or junior year when I decided to like look it up, because a conversation similar to this got brought up, and I looked it up, and then there were stories of housing in that areas. Um, if you know who Al Capone was, they would use that area along the Fox River during the Prohibition area to transport and smuggle booze in and out of the cities. Uh, and that's why the cellars down there would go so deep. It's because they were tunnels, they're smuggling tunnels for alcohol.
Oh,
Uh,
damn.
and you would just see stories of like people finding bodies and stuff of people who had died down there, or some of the houses who were they dug their tunnels close to like like mine systems,
Yeah.
like mine cavern systems, however you want to word that, where people would face cave-ins and things like that. So it was just always creepy to me to like kind of pair the way like none of the power would work, just the sense of evil and dark energy mixed with the knowledge that smugglers could have died down there for all I know,
Oh yeah.
and none of us were ever like brave enough to go down there because like the second the animals didn't want to go down there, I'm like, there ain't no way I'm going down there. If the animals send something they don't want to go down there for.
So Steve was doing a house repair in Salt Lake. That was like he said the basement went down into the mountain, and like there were crawl spaces and tunnels, and they wouldn't even go fucking near it. But they were doing a renovation for a job, and like I don't know, dude. Like there's a lot of secret underground history in the U.S., man. Especially in Chicago, like you said, with the bootlegging and stuff. So I believe that, dude. Personally, I feel like, you know, after the mortal coil, there's a spiritual attachment. You may pass on peacefully and just that's it. You're done. But you might bind to something, and I feel like definitely if you died like in a bootlegging tunnel or something while you were working, maybe you definitely attached to whatever's down there.
And there's tons of stories like that. Because a lot of those like little towns like that, they're spread around the Fox River. If any of y'all listening, or any of the guests on here want to like look it up, um, just quick Google search of like Al Capone smuggling tunnels in Illinois. You should get it, most of it, or like smuggling tunnels along the Fox River. If and for those listening, if you're from out there and like the Fox River itself is a mess to go through and is probably more than enough for its own episode on here to talk about. There is just like so many people die in that river every year. It's got a lot of uh, history, a lot of bad history with like westward expansion of the states as far as like removing Native Americans from the area. It's just literally a lot of bad blood with that area.
Yeah,
Kind of like the entirety of that like southern Illinois area is just bad vibes. From the Children of the Corn stuff to just getting into that whole dark history of uh, United States expansion and things of that nature with smuggling during the Prohibition and just I don't know, just the entire area is just uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm kind of like on the same level, like I kind of want to go and just look into what all crazy shit has happened in this town, American history can get pretty freaking dark. If you actually, look at it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, y'all had, I guess, a haunted basement, huh?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to like go back and like actually explore down there because it goes pretty deep. When we first moved in, we tried going down there, um, because you got to store your stuff somewhere when you're moving. Out of state,
Yeah.
don't have storage units or anything ready, so you got to put boxes somewhere. But it was just so difficult to get down there and do work down there, and just the fact that you would go down a set of stairs into what you think is the basement room, only to like stumble across another set of stairs, like, oh shit guys, wait, we have more going down. And then you would go down there because you're like, oh wait, no, we're finally in the basement, here it is guys. Oh shit, no, I almost fell down another flight of stairs, let's keep going down. Like,
yeah, it could be anything from like a
at
bootlegging
some
tunnel.
point you tell yourself enough is enough.
It could be from like a bootlegging tunnel, or it could, they're just basements down there in general. Like you would imagine people going another level deep just to like store, booze and stuff. Like
Jesus,
Prohibition
fuck,
era.
Huge basement.
Also, if you were like to put ice down there, it'd be a pretty good ice box.
Yeah, that'd be very
for
deep.
the bodies, right?
Yeah, for that or your like liquor.
Yeah, or bodies.
Well, why not both?
Yeah, meats.
I don't know what I want to store in
mean,
my
just
third, fourth, and
bodies.
fifth lower level of the basement.
The fifth floor of the basement is it's a
Keep
fucking
your-
mine
keep
shaft.
your
Yeah, at some
clown
point you're like,
artifacts
okay,
down
I've
there.
like he said, it's like I've descended enough. I'm not going to keep following this trail. I don't know
Dude,
what's
what
going to
if you-
happen.
What if you found like 80-year-old My Little Pony figure in a jar?
Hell yeah, dude! Sell it on eBay.
This is
10K
what
right
someone's
there,
gonna
dude.
find in the year 3000 now.
Ancient artifact, dude.
Ancient gamer bathwater.
Oh yeah. What if
Hell
you
yeah.
found Al Capone's gamer girl bath?
Dude.
And
Signed
his
by Belle
gamer feed.
Delphine.
What
Hell
if you found his gamer feed? You could consume his prohibition age gamer.
This got really out there.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Dude.
I just like, wow.
Yeah, just like between that and like all the crawl spaces throughout the house, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird.
Oh,
Like-
my house has a crawl space, but we haven't explored it. Kind
You
of,
need
It's just
to.
like
kind of don't want to
it's
look in there.
spooky enough to have a multi-layered basement, but then like pair that with crawl spaces, you're like, I'm uncomfortable here.
No, see, with that amount of space, I could definitely turn it into like a gaming section if there's enough space for it. Fuck the ghosts, just put RGBs everywhere. Light that shit up.
I feel
Make it
bad
nice.
for the people in 100 years who stumble upon your basement.
There's gonna be a lot of bathwater.
1,000 years from now.
Honestly, though, it reminds me of this book called House of Leaves. That's it's about this guy who realizes that his house is like just a couple of inches bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And randomly in his living room one day, and a door appears, and in that door there's just a tunnel leading nowhere.
Huh.
And one day he just like commits himself into like getting on a bike with a pack of like food and medicine and just going as far as he can into the tunnel. And it like ends very ambiguously.
It's just a brick
That's-
wall.
Sounds very
He's
interesting.
biking really fast. It's like a big slope, like slight slope, just with a brick wall at the end. So he just slams really hard.
There you go.
Nah,
Oof.
but it's supposed to be like an endless tunnel that he just gets like eaten by, essentially.
Oh, what?
It
Well, I
doesn't
mean,
like
at some
literally
point-
eat him. It's just
At some point, like if it just keeps going and going and going, you know,
yeah.
eventually he's gonna run
no
out of
return.
food.
Yeah, he runs out of food. I think within Victoria, but like just keeps going for a little bit longer. I don't know. I haven't fully read it yet.
He just needs to go back to spawn, man.
Yeah.
Then his problems are solved.
Yep,
Yeah,
respawn and everything.
He'll
will be
respawn.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all good.
Interesting, spooky basement. To follow that up, I'm trying to figure out which one I want to tell because I have like a stack. But
Oh,
screw it. I'll talk about the one about the weird house in Houston, man. So we had a house that was it was pretty small initially, but they added on a whole hallway with another bathroom and a couple rooms in the back, and it was separated by like these glass French doors. Now, when you go into the house, it's very nice. It's like something you'd see in a magazine. Beautiful house. Then you get these really nice glass French doors. You open them, and they didn't finish the other half of this house that they added on to. So it's all just plywood of different shades of color.
Bruh.
Markings with like paint from where they did cuts and stuff. Red stains that you could hope are chalk or stains or, you know, red marker or red paint. But it was a construction site, so you never know. And it's just this shittily put together thing that you could fall through the floor through at any minute. So that's where our room was. Me and my two little brothers. We were, this was Houston, so we were about maybe 10 at the time. So like 8, 9, 10 or 9, 10, 11 maybe. This was peak height of early 2000s. My favorite beverage at the time was Sobe in the glass bottle jar.
Oh boy.
Chilled to perfection. I had a collection of the bottles on the wall, like the glass ones with all the different lizard types. It was nice, man. But yeah, that was the only thing was it was our room and my uncle's room. Now, and then the bathroom. The bathroom on itself was slanted this way on the ceiling. So by the time you get to the toilet, you were already squatting. You couldn't stand up on the toilet. It was very rough. I don't know what architect designed that, but it was the worst shit ever. And then like I said, all the red stains and stuff kind of led me to some other shit. So we get to the backyard, what remains of it. Pretty nice. The shed next to it looks older than the house. Like, it looks like that was a pre-existing structure from a different house entirely. This big shed off to the right. Also, not only is it shoddily put together, but we found some really fucked up shit. We found a rope, like really, really old ass rope just hanging from the top, and like cuts of rope on the ground. I'm like, did somebody fucking hang themselves in here? It was all it was jokes at first, and then shit started happening in the house.
Oof.
So, first of all, that back creaking room, I mean, it's already drafty because it's, not complete, but only when you were in the closets could you hear scratching on the walls. And there, you would go outside and think it was like a tree brushing against the house. Nothing there. No other place but the closets.
Mm-mm.
We did not like sleeping in that back section of the house. After a few occurrences, we all started sleeping in the front. Because everything that was happening was in the back of the house. My sisters had their room, because my parents, naturally, they get the master bedroom, right? But, like, it's the one right by the front door. It's the, the keeper of the house. It's all set, right? And their bathroom's nice as hell. The kitchen's got a nice little sectional spot. There's a breakfast nook. Very beautiful house. My sister's room, right next to theirs, on the other side of the hall. Big, nice, fresh paint. Ours, shitty shack. So once we got tired of the shack between the scratching and, like, we swear we would hear bumping at night, and all three of us brothers, and even my uncle, who at the time was, like, maybe, like, 22, 23, he was like, no, I'm not even going back there. Fuck this shit. It's not a kid thing. It's real. I'm sleeping in the living room, and we all just camped out in the living room for the rest of our time living there, which wasn't very long, thankfully. But the whatever it was back there followed us. This is one of the reasons we ended up moving. When we were there in the living room, right after we decided no more of this back room shit, dude, the doorbell started going off in the middle of the night. We would get up and go outside, nobody there. We called an electrician just to see if we made the landlord have a guy come out to look at it, because we thought, maybe somebody in the neighborhood was pranking us. Electrician said, there's no problem here. I don't know what you're talking about. One night, my uncle decided to be brave and slept with a baseball bat by the door. He was just trying to stay up all night. He was kind of drifting off. When it rang again, this is his story. He opened the door, brought the bat outside, and there was nothing there at all. And the wind just pushed him, and he slammed the door shut. I remember waking up when the door slammed, not when the thing went off. But that doorbell would constantly go off, and what's worse, it was the ding dong bing bong kind of doorbell that you would get in an anime, like when a school starts and shit. It was the scariest thing ever, dude. That's just one of the many occurrences.
Sounds fucking creepy.
Oh my god, dude. Just thinking about it, I'm starting to think back to all that, those different, oh god, the trailer in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, my family moved around a lot, so that's one piece of the shit that apparently has not stopped following us to this day, because I swear, I've seen some stuff at night.
Dude, the scratches would have been enough for me, man.
Oh, the scratches were the worst for me. Even when the doorbell started going off, I didn't mind that as much as I minded the scratches, because every time I'd go into my closet for something, eventually, I started piling my clothes off to the side. I wouldn't even use my closet. Because only in the closet, and, like, you would be in the other side of the closet. Nobody's, because there were two closets side by side. No one in there. Behind it, nothing. It was a little storage like shed thing. No one in the shed. We've done multiple experiments. We were not able to figure out what the fuck it was, and it's only in the closet. I won't do that shit no more, dude. This is already freaking me out.
Maybe the ghost just hasn't come out of the closet yet, man. Maybe
he sure as hell came out. He was ringing our doorbell pretty loudly, a lot, frequently. It was rough, but yeah, that's one. Yeah. That was one of the weirdest times of my life, man. That's where I learned to skateboard and Beyblade. I was a different kid back then.
You don't still play with Beyblades anymore?
Of course I play with Beyblade. Yeah. I was talking about skateboards. I don't touch grass.
Real quick. Here it is.
Is that a case of Dr. Pepper?
This is Hades Prime.
Oof, we got a Beyblade live.
Nice. Let me see the bottom pieces.
Oh yeah, it's an atomic.
Ooh. Dude, I used to customize these all the time, dude. I know my Beyblades. This is a Japanese
exclusive top that has like metal on it and shit. It's fucking crazy.
We broke one of my mom's mixing bowls using it as a battle stadium.
Dude, I want
We
to
used to
make
take it outside, we'd slam it down and fight the neighbor kids. We were cringe as fuck.
no,
I
dude.
was like
Podcast
8.
better be a Beyblade tournament.
No, what you
This
gotta
is the
do
note
is
before that.
have one of the setups and fill it with gasoline.
Oof.
Release the Beyblade and just light it on fire.
Hell yeah.
Make it a fucking spectacle.
I vote to attach razor blades to them.
Yeah, razor blade.
And then one of us put our feet in there. Bet how long it takes till our Achilles tendon snaps.
Oh, good. I call dibs. If you don't know.
Okay.
Dude, my feet can only take so much damage, bro.
Oh my god. Stromboli, you want to take the lead on the next one?
Dude, I don't think I can
Tell your
top-
little story. Wait, you
got
can't
plenty.
top that. That's me just getting started.
Oh boy.
I got
Okay.
plenty. If they can't go in, I am all aboard on this.
I got you. So this was when I was 8 or 9. I think my brother was just turning 3. We came to Dallas. We were living in Waco at the time. We went to Dallas to celebrate his birthday, and we were staying at my aunt's house. And this is a really big house, 2 stories, really huge backyard, fences, and they did not own any animal. My aunt is completely allergic to fur and just pet hair and whatever. So I was playing my PS1. I was playing like RC Racer or something, and I just hear like footsteps going down the hall. But it wasn't like people stepping like the way their steps are, like 1 2 1 2. It was like little footsteps, really quick.
Oof.
And I was like, okay, that's probably their fucking dog or their cat just running around like walking around. And after a while, it kept passing by through the hallway the entire time. So I decided, you know what? Let me just look at the animal and just like tell it to fuck off, like go outside or something. You distracted me from my first places. And I go through the entire house, no animal. And I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna come back somehow. I'm gonna, go after it after it runs past the hallway again. It did it again. I go outside and I look for it. It's nothing there. My aunt and my mom come home, go straight to the door. I run down and I'm like, yo, where's your dog? And my aunt just goes, we don't have a dog. Your cat? You have a cat? She goes, no, we don't have any animals. So when you're a kid, your first pick is either a dog or a cat. When those are ruled out, you don't know what to think. You're like, bro, what was crawling around in the house?
A rat?
Yeah.
Or would it be too small?
No, it is like Chihuahua sized.
Okay,
like,
so it
from
made
with the
noise.
footsteps. Yeah, like it's like you can hear it.
Oh, okay.
Oof.
So I'm like, I was just asking, and they were like, why? What's going on? I didn't want to say anything because at the time I'm like, bro, I don't want to say something embarrassing and have them laugh at me because that's how Mexican parents are. So it's like, I just dropped it, and in the middle of the night, this is all of us like sleeping in the living room, I think, and I wake up like out of nowhere, like it didn't feel like something woke me up, but I hear the footsteps, but I hear them like in the living room
Oof.
where I'm sleeping with my mom and I think my little brother. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna look. And at the time, yeah, I thought it was probably a rat, because rats are big sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking around, but every time I get up from like the couch, the pull-out couch I was laying on, I didn't see anything. And there's like night lights everywhere, the TV's on. So throughout the night, it's just like that's all I heard. We're only staying there for like the weekend. Second day comes up, I asked my cousin because I think it was a Friday that day and a Saturday, so he was home. I asked him like, "Hey, dude, you don't have like any animals in the house, right?" He's like, "No, my mom's allergic." And I was like, "Cause I hear like footsteps like in the house. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I already told my parents. They don't believe me." And I'm like,
Him
"Dude,
too?
yeah." So it's like we're just like, do you think it's like an animal? And he's like, "I thought it was like a squirrel, but we looked everywhere. Like we made sure like there's like no holes leading up to anything." And so we stayed up all night and we waited. We heard the steps, but they were like downstairs because we were upstairs at this point. They came from like downstairs, and we heard shit moving in the kitchen. Like like when you have like a cabinet and you're like moving stuff around, like the paprika and the salt and the pepper, like that's noise is shuffling.
Yeah.
We heard those type of movements in the kitchen, so we're like, okay, it's definitely in the fucking kitchen. We go down the stairs, we turn left, and there's nothing in the kitchen. We made sure like the windows were closed, made sure the door was closed, and we're just like, what the fuck? Like we just came in here, like not guns a blazing, but we had our pillows ready to fucking knock the shit out of the thing, and we heard it behind us in the living room. So it's like it moved from the kitchen through the door, which we would have seen, into the living room. And so we sort of chased it for like 3 minutes because it kept sort of not moving, but it's like you can hear it in a different spot in the house. So sometimes we'd be in the living room, we would hear it upstairs. Sometimes we go upstairs, we'd hear it in the kitchen. And that day we're just like, yo, let's talk to your dad and see. Someone's calling me. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Just the fact that it was multiple occurrences is what's getting to me. Like, these are all different accounts.
Like it was terrifying, dude. Like like knowing about it now, it definitely doesn't seem like it would have been an animal because I remember the sound of the steps specifically. It was like chihuahua size or like little pig size.
Yeah.
It
Because even your
wasn't like
cousin said squirrel.
yeah, and it's like yeah, it's too. A squirrel wouldn't get in. Like I think one of the cousins or him, he would have gotten a reaction from it. Like we never figured out what it was. We told my uncle about it, and he was like, "Yeah, no, it's literally nothing. Like you guys are just hearing shit." And I think we brought it up a couple years back, and he was just like, "Nah, there was no animals in the house. Like we made sure, like to triple check because we had like a baby in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, bruh, little demon babies running around the house, man."
Okay. Damn. Y'all had like some kind of occurrence in there. I wonder if like if the parents or your aunt and uncle, whoever, they just never heard it. Like that's weird. And it makes you wonder if it's like an actual like occurrence that anyone could see, or if it's something that only kids could see. Because I believe there's shit that only kids and animals and stuff can see.
No, yeah.
I wonder if it was like just you guys, or that's just bizarre.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it with the other cousins. We just kept it like between us. We just didn't want to like freak everyone out.
People go the route of like, if we ignore it and we don't have to like admit it's real, kind of thing. So I mean, I know people who do that with things like that. Like something freaks will happen, they'll just be like, it's whatever, just to like, I don't know. I guess it's like a false sense of security, makes them feel better. That if they don't acknowledge what's happening is happening, then it'll just kind of like deal with itself.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's pretty good. So we're 3 in. Let's go ahead and pass over to Dom.
All right.
And you can, I hear you got a stack yourself.
Yeah. So, like, back when from ages like 6 to 8, say, I was living in Section 8 housing in Lake Worth, which is like a small it's just like a pass-through transit town, like through to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Essentially, just a whole bunch of shops and then some like residential area, and then there's like the apartment complex just right off the highway, and surrounding that complex is just this large hill that's just covered in wood, and it's just like weird in the middle of all of this like urban area. There's just woods in the center of it, and like in those woods, it's just covered in fossil and all this like, just, all these just like, dead fish everywhere essentially. And then like occasionally you'll come across like old stone walls in the middle of the woods, stuff like that, and like shacks from when people like lived there, or like homeless encampments. But like, there's just like a lot of weird shit there.
Yeah, anytime you deal with like that near the lake land, you always have where the lake recedes and stuff, and just the wooded areas behind there. I've had a few friends who like said they used to go to like parties out there, and I'm like, the fuck, like, oh yeah, we were almost shot at. It was great.
Yeah, but like, oh man, just like every now and then there'd be like really weird noises from like the woods. Like, I mean, there was wild dogs, so there'd be howling.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
and it's Texas, man. Like up in like Kennedale and stuff, they have coyotes and shit. So
Yeah.
makes sense.
One time, like, there was just like gunshots out in the woods around us. It's just like, oh, well, that's a gang shootout or something. And and just like the sound of constant construction nearby, but we like never saw where the construction was happening. There was an Air Force base nearby. Constant fighter jets over us. But like one time, there was just a point where me and my brother were out like playing around with some of the people like in our like block area, and we looked up, and from like the woods, there were just like a balloon like thing. It looked like a shopping bag, but it wasn't like drifting around. It was just going in a direction.
Oh damn!
But it was like warping and moving like it was a shopping bag blowing in the wind. And then another one pops up, and then another one, and then one pops up, and it looks like that's got like something dangling from it. And then a couple more pop up, and they go in a line around, like behind the like apartments around the woods, and then like descend back down into the woods. And like a bunch of people saw it. There was people like smoking out on the balcony that we like were like, look at that, and they're like, oh, that's from the Air Force base. That's a stealth bomber. It's like, no.
Excuse me.
What?
That was not a stealth bomber. That was some damn Stephen King's It shit.
I'm fully on board with the idea that they do weird stuff out of that Nas Joint Reserve base you're talking about. Cause
Yeah,
that's
one that's
there
like it's down by like Altamere and all that. Like if you keep going down 820, yeah, I know exactly where that is. I used to live over there.
Like you pair that with the fact that Lockheed Martin is over there.
Oh yeah, and all their experimental jet stuff.
Like they're like one of the biggest sellers, if not the biggest, of fighter jets and missiles to multiple countries. You know they're doing weird stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But that they got some high tech something or another there.
Just makes me think of Stranger Things, except it's right here in the open in the middle of the damn Metroplex.
Yeah,
the high school I went to down here is across the lake from there. It was just always weird to look at from school.
There was this one time where like my mom had to take us somewhere. It was like a doctor's visit kind of later in the day, and it was like sun was already down. It was kind of dark out because it was in fall. Sun goes down like really early, and the moment she starts the car, we see this like green globe in front of it glowing, it flashes, and then it's just gone. And we all saw it, and we were just like, what the fuck? We all looked back and forth like, you all saw that, right? There was no explanation. It's just like, oh yeah,
weather balloon
flashed in front of us. Let's continue with our day.
That's normal around here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. That whole area sounds sketch.
And then like there's an urban legend in the area of like the Goat Man.
Okay.
Lives on Goat Man Island.
Between that and what you were talking about, like with the facilities and stuff, my mind immediately went to Mothman. So this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we're talking
a
Lake Worth. There's a Lake Worth cryptid that we are not fully, aware of.
Yeah.
That's where if the listeners here, the Dallas Fort Worth area, that's where like 90% of local bands in this area go to get promo pictures done is on Goatman's Bridge, which is
Mhm.
the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing as what he's talking
Dude,
about.
I've
Oh, yeah.
seen all the promos too.
Oh yeah, Goatman's just creepy too. Fucking when it gets cold out, the lake will cast fog. Take town. Creepy. Place has got like major Twin Peaks vibe in the fall.
Oh, dude, I love Twin Peaks.
Hell yeah.
Wow, damn, that whole area just sounds fucky. All right, so we've made it around one circle. This is pretty good. Everybody's had a really interesting story so far.
I'd love to piggyback onto what Dom said if no one else wants to jump into another one right away.
Yeah, we can just make the circle, man. So
Alright.
that would be you next, and just keep it rolling for as long as we feel. You know, I mean, we could do multiple episodes. I don't know whatever everyone else has planned, but I mean, I'm here for the
5-hour
ride.
podcast. Let's go.
5 hours,
should-
5 hour podcast. You mean 3 episodes to spread across the season?
Oh yeah.
It's definitely a vibe, dude. I like doing different episodes, you know, different genres. It really gives me a
Okay.
chance to do stuff. I can't wait for the anime one, dude. $5 somebody yells. Episode 4 incoming. Hopefully. But yeah, let's make the circle again. We'll start up with Illusion.
So to piggyback off with kind of similar to Dom's thing, about just creepy happenings in the woods, bringing up kind of like the things you see when water recedes. Up north, there was a lake we used to go to. My grandfather and my dad, they're like really big into fishing, and we used to. I kind of enjoy it now, just because it's super relaxing. But as a kid, like just with anything, whenever you're forced to go do something, you grow to resent it. You know, whether it's some activity or another. Mine was fishing. I kind of liked it, but like just when you get dragged somewhere to do it every weekend, you grow to hate it.
Yeah, I
We
feel
used to
you
go to
on
a place
that.
called we used to go to a place called
Becomes
Shabana
chore.
Lake, and it's like half natural, half man-made. Kind of ties back into what I was saying before about like the dark history of like westward expansion of the states. Shabana Lake is an old Indian reservation that they flooded out to get people to leave. So they, I don't know how that works. They dig a reservoir or something and literally just let the river just crush it. And it used to freak me out because you would go on a boat because that's where you get the best fishing is in the middle of the lake,
Yep.
and you can go out there and at certain parts you can see old homes and things like that of people who used to live there, like just below you, just looking straight down. And it used to just freak me out as a kid, just waiting for a bite to just casually look down at the fish. And then if you stare a little hard enough, you can just see houses, um, homes of people.
See the roof of somebody's shack.
Yeah, like just below your surface. And it was always freaky because up there they teach you a lot of that kind of thing, that um, the treatment of like the Native Americans in the area, like if they didn't leave willingly, they were forced to leave.
Oh yeah.
And like not to get too preachy on here, but it's not something they talk about nearly enough down here in like the southern half of the United States. It's a big portion of your curriculum up north.
The other side of, once you get past the Bible Belt, all that stuff gets hidden, buried deep.
Up north, it's, I would at least say half a year, if not a whole year's worth of your like history curriculum in middle school of each year, your 6th, 7th, and 8th grade years. But like just pairing that experience of being on the lake and just seeing those things just below water, and then learning in school about all that stuff about villages getting burned out or flooded out, and learning about the treatment of those people. And another friend we have, I spoke to him about this not too long ago because he had asked me about it on the ride home before. We had
That's
talked
funny.
about
Sorry, I had to call that
ride
out.
home. I know.
Trademark, The Ride Home.
This is the
That's
Ride Home
there's a-
podcast.
Actually,
there's
there's a
like
Christian podcast called The Ride Home. Mine's called The Ride Home Podcast, so we're different.
safe,
Trademark.
but we had talked about it's in the same area of I believe it's just out of, I remember correctly, it's Rockford, Illinois.
Mm.
But the cave is called Burnings Man Cave. They burned a family. Story goes they burnt a Native American family alive, chasing them out of the village area. They cornered them in this cave and just set them ablaze, and you can still see like the ashes burned into the rock in this cave,
Mhm.
like on the wall. Like, have you ever looked into like the bombings of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki? How like you can see pictures of just people's like flesh burned into stone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nuclear
dude, yeah,
shadows.
I know what you're talking about.
Like, well,
Yeah.
like the shadows cast, or I don't know.
Nuclear shadow.
Yeah,
Yeah, the nuclear shadow. It's kind of like that. You can see that burned into these rocks down there, and just that whole area of Chavano, Illinois, is just freaky because you got stuff you see below water, and then you have this cave system that you know is
all this destroyed land.
Hell
yeah, and it's just it's just creepy to think about because then you start thinking about that stuff, and then just like everywhere you look in that area, you're like, am I gonna find a dead, like a body over here, like a skeleton or something? Just eerie. Just again, like another sense of dread, eeriness, just dark, bad vibes.
And that's America's
yeah.
history in a nutshell, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get too political, but dude, yeah, there's some dark shit out there, and a lot of it is not right.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah, rough stuff, man. Vibes getting freaky. Now we're talking about genocide.
Back in Lake Worth, I remember me and my brother went to hike out in those woods a bit, and we were just following along the stream, that's like just from the entrance that you go into the woods through, and all the way through until there's this like paintball park because the apartment complex is like right next to Fun on the Run, which is like a paintball park there, and sorry, I'm watching the audience calculate in his head.
You're good.
But we were walking along that stream, and randomly we came across this like just tuft of like blonde, like long blonde hair, like just like a full like sizable chunk of somebody's like hair, no scalp or anything, hair that, and it's like, why? And just, I don't know, it was really creepy. And then we turned around from there because it just vibed us out.
Editor, put a clown noise right here.
Yeah.
You liked that the first time, didn't you?
Hey, editor, put a grass block breaking in Minecraft.
All right.
Steve taking damage from the old version where he used to go ooh ooh, and then like burning sound.
Hey, editor, make a witch sound. Right here.
Remember how I said that, you know, the editing process was going so well? Let's move on before I have to do even more work.
This is exercise, man.
Yeah.
I'll go next. So, this was closer to around right before the time we moved out of Texas. So, I was maybe 12. We were living in the middle of nowhere. So, for those of, you know, for anybody who wants to look it up, it's called Waller, Texas. I don't remember the population, but it was very tiny. We had to drive about 45 minutes to the nearest Walmart. And our town consisted of a grocery store, a video rental place, and a donut stand, and a Sonic. That was it. That was your civilization. The truck stop, and you're done. Middle of fucking nowhere, fields everywhere. Anyway, we were on 3 acres on a trailer. And dude, it is creepy out there in the backwoods, dude. just
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, the stars are beautiful. Like, you see a lot of shit. Like, we had our, New Year's over there, so we got to do fireworks out in our field, and we had a pool in the backyard. It was cool, man. We had a dog who used to run around. We got attacked by snakes and shit. It was crazy. That was a different life entirely. Sam, why are you just dying in the corner there? You okay? You got your hand covering your mouth.
I can't say.
Hey, there's a
Continue on
doggo.
with the podcast.
Anyway, yeah, dude, we were out there. But yeah, so more stupid shit happened in this trailer. Okay, the worst one, and the reason I'm gonna go for this one is because there was tiny little things leading up to this, but this was also around the time I was playing a bunch of horror video games. I had played Silent Hill on PS1. I had played Twisted Metal Black on PS2, so I was already like not in a good headspace when this shit started happening. So there's a trail behind in our property, like where the trees were, like where the property line is. And if you follow that trail, you will come up on a fence where like the neighbors' horses and stuff tend to go. So my sisters would go down that trail and feed them shit, and just like pet the horses and whatnot. Dude, that trail always had the smell of death, and like that was something's little, like a creature's stalking ground, because we used to find like we found a dead skunk once. Just one animal, whatever it was, one day when we walked down there, we followed this smell of like burning cabbage, and we ended up finding just this pile of meat, and it was undescribable, and it was like turning gray because it was like out in the sun and shit. Awful. But that area was creepy. And what happened at night right around that area was the worst. So at night we would hear this whistling. I'm going to try to replicate it, but it was 4 sharp whistles at once. Okay? It was like in a row. That wasn't a good whistle, but like I can't whistle. Dude, my throat is so dry.
I could not hear it at all.
I hear it.
Yeah, cut out.
Like
Yeah.
4
It's just
in
like
succession.
Blow job to the microphone.
Fuck it. I'm not going to do it. I tried. 4 in succession, right? And
Maybe
you just hear it.
recorded in a separate thing and edited in.
Maybe.
All right.
But anyway, it was just 4 sharp in a row. You'd hear it, and then it would stop. Like they were waiting for something. Guys, what are y'all doing on camera? You're screwing this up for me. Anyway, it was 4 sharp whistles, right? And then they're rhythmic, right on time, one after another. Like, as if someone is out in this field looking for their dog. Or some kind of animal. Every night, whenever that whistling would happen, it would only happen every couple of weeks. It would happen once. And, you would always think it was a neighbor, but every time it was the exact same whistle. Then, one time, I got brave and decided to go check it out. Went outside, dude, when I say it gets misty out there, this whole field, 3-acre field that we were on, nothing but mist covering it.
Bruh.
And I looked over towards the, like, area where the tree line, where the property line sloops down the hill and all that dumb shit's down there by the neighbors. I looked over there, and I swear I saw 2 pair of eyes just staring at me.
Bruh.
I shut the door, I laid back down, and right as I was about to go to bed, I was, like, content with everything. Like, okay, I'm just crazy. I need to go back to sleep. The very minute, 4 sharp whistles, right again. And I was up the rest of the night. The only other thing that happened to me there, I think something tried to possess me. We were all sleeping in the living room one. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess something traumatic had happened in the family or some shit. It's rare if it happens. We were all in the living room. And my dad was getting up for work. It was like, 4 in the morning. They do like landscaping and stuff, and they fuel up over where he's at with the crews. So like he's up at 4 every morning, leaves by like 5. One morning he's up like, making his coffee and stuff. The standard occurrence, if you're sleeping in the living room, you're gonna get woken up by the sounds in the kitchen. It's just a single trailer. And yeah, dude, I get up to the worst pain I've ever felt. It was like nothing but popping nonstop. Like, you ever had Pop Rocks? It's like that, but in my ear.
Ooh.
And it was the worst pain I'd ever felt. And I kept like jamming and clawing at my ear. My mom's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know what it is." Here's the deal. It would do that crackling, that popping, and it just felt like electricity. It would stop. And when it stops, I would hear a slight whistle. and it got louder and louder and louder. Different whistle from that 4. It wasn't so shrill. It was more like wind or air getting blown into your ear. But it got louder and louder and louder, and once it reached its peak, the popping started again. And it would do it. So after like 3 of these attacks, my mom's freaking out, and she's like, I don't know, get him some fucking, aspirin or something, right? By the time, I guess we didn't have any, by the time my uncle goes to the truck stop and came back with the aspirin, I had about 3 or 4, like, attacks since then. And every time I would tell Mom, it's coming again. It's coming again. She's like, what? I'm like, it's coming again. And then I would just start screaming when it popped. And again, I can't explain what it felt like. It's like something was trying to force its way into me. And then, like, I don't know where, the minute he came back in through the door with the medicine, stopped. Instantly. And it never happened again in my life.
That is weird. What the fuck?
So those are the trailer occurrences. I've got more houses where, like, dude, we've moved around too much, but that's those.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got a lot of shit, dude. I feel like things have been wrong ever since I was a kid. Just the fact that I now live, just blocks away from the house I grew up in when I was, 5 years old is freaky. The way that we went from state to state and place to place, just to come back here, it just feels weird, but it feels right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gotta love when freaky shit, like, happens to you. But yeah, this is a pretty good episode concept. I like it.
It's nice. I like it too.
All right. Anybody else? Is that a no?
Anybody
Sorry.
else?
Anybody else?
I could talk about the knocks in my ceiling that have been happening.
Oh, like right now?
Oh, that's
Not
me.
like-
My
Like
not
bad.
where
like-
you live?
Not like now, but like in this house, like
Okay.
just around like late hours, we'll just have like in the ceiling, just
Like-
random, just
Just fast like that?
fast like knocks.
Oh.
In just random spots. It'll generally be around where a person is awake. If it's like one person awake.
It's only if it's one person awake, huh?
Yeah.
It's always when no one else is around.
Oh yeah. It's so fucking creepy, and we've gone up in the attic, nothing up there.
Dude,
I mean, we've seen raccoons walking through our yard and squirrels, so it could be like some of them found a way in and they're somehow making noise, but it's like consistent. How are they consistently making knocking? And it's just like, and then randomly, when we checked up there once, we checked like right next to the entrance of the attic, we found this pull cue. Let me go grab it.
oh crap. Dude, I don't know about this.
Oh boy, a pole cue.
No, I've already had occurrences in my
Child's
house.
pull cue.
Oh damn.
This is
That's
like
a
not
short
a
little
normal,
cue.
like, yeah, exactly. It's like a children's pull cue.
Not even it's like, middle school era, like
Yeah.
learn how to play pool. Oh my god, it's chewed to hell at the bottom.
Oh yeah. And
That
I'm
is
like, okay, let's-
ominous looking.
no label or anything.
Yeah, if there was anything, it's long rubbed off by now.
Yeah. It's
Dude,
just
no. I feel like I'm pissing
Dude.
off whatever's in my house right now because I've had my own occurrences here. We're channeling bad
Oh.
energy doing this show, and I love it. Bring it on.
I have even darker ones, dude. We got to keep going.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Let's keep it
yeah.
up. So you've got that knocking in your place right now. That reminds me of Stromboli's story. With the running across the hall.
Oh, yeah.
Oh damn. This is getting deep.
Oh yeah. Also, this is a house where like somebody died in.
Oh,
My
hell yeah.
Grandmother died in this house, so like
Nice.
might be a good spirit knocking, but it's a creepy ass knock.
They're just trying to hang out and play Fortnite, man.
Yeah. Like, yo, tap me in. Tap me in, house.
All right.
Like, go up.
So
Come res me.
Dom's already got creepy stuff in his dead
Oh, yeah.
grandparents' house or
Yes,
great-grandparents'
Stromboli literally res me.
house.
Yeah, res
this
me,
is
bro.
rough.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got?
Mm.
Who's up? I feel like I just talked recently. Illusion, you
say
want to do
that.
another one? I know
I
you've got a
can.
book.
I have volumes to go through. We can hit Immortal Cat. We can have me waking up with various injuries to my body,
Those are the worst.
already scarred over and everything. Uh,
Oh, man.
more spooky houses, but we already hit spooky houses, so I don't
It
want to get
seems
more
like
spooky
you've
houses.
it seems like you've run the gauntlet of like supernatural occurrences.
Yeah. If I had the cat, I'd pull her up here for like those of you in the
Oh god, you're not gonna show the demon cat.
No, I'm not gonna wake her. She's just sleeping under my bed.
Yeah, let her chill. Keep that thing
But
far away from your camera right now.
but yeah, I can hit that one really quick, man. Hopefully, it'll
Yeah,
give me all
do
time
the
to.
demon cat.
Um.
I haven't
So
heard the story, but I know of like the bits.
yeah, I've brought up like little gists of it. Of, I say it because it's an it. It's not a her. It's
That
an
yeah,
it. Um.
that's a thing.
So
Sure, about cat bitch.
That is a noun,
just to
sir.
jump the gun with the immortal cat story. Um. To preface this, the cat's 20 will be 25 years old this August. That's not cat years. That's not animal years. That is human people years. 25 this August, like a week after my birthday. That's the 28th or 29th.
There's no way, right? There's no way.
This is the only cat that's ever been in our household.
Is
I don't
that
know
not
how
a
long
is
this
that not
was.
a world record?
I mean,
I'm
there
not
was
a
a
cat
30-year-old cat on YouTube, but he was like looked fucking dead inside.
The scary thing is the reason why I wanted to like try to pull her up if she was just lingering. She's sleeping, so I ain't gonna mess with her.
Yeah, you don't
It
want to mess
looks.
with that.
She has cancer.
Yeah.
So other than a spot where she had to get surgery, uh, she looks young. She walks around like she's young and everything.
Yeah, that's
Super youthful is, and I'm glad. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad. I don't want this to
Oh,
come off
yeah.
like I'm wishing she was sick or anything. But
Yeah.
no cat that old should be as energetic as this thing.
She's leeching life from something, someone.
So, that's where we're going with this right here. So, um, back when we lived in the house I brought up before with the cellar issue, which kind of makes us even creepers. We were in this
Oh,
house
no.
and that house when this happened. Um, we had at that time up there, we had all walked to school because we lived close enough, and it was like I don't. They have a specific name for them, but it was like one of your like all-in-one schools where it was like pre-K through high school. It was all in like one
Montessori.
massive building.
Montessori.
So
I want to say it's a
me and
Montessori school.
where they're like all in one.
Yeah, I was in one when I was
It
way
was
young.
me and several of my brothers. We had all gone there. I was in middle school at the time. Older brother was in high school, and I guess at some point between like me and some of them walking out the door and like the rest of them leaving the house, we had left the door open. It's kind of common with that many people leaving and walking in the house at the same time. The cat had ran away and left the premise.
Yeah.
We got a call at school saying, your parents are here to pick you guys up. Something happened with one of your all's animals or something. They're here to get you. So we're like, oh damn, bummer. It's a cat. One of the cats is gone. Get back. Go through that whole spiel about someone let the cat go out. They gave us a whole speech about it's gone. We're gonna go look for it. This, that, and the other. Weeks had passed. I don't want to say giving up hope, but I knew back then because friends have cats that just kind of do what they want. You can't really like teach a cat how to do anything.
Yeah.
It's not like a dog. You can't teach it to come home. It was gone. Weeks had passed. I want to say we're close to a month, maybe the 3-week mark. Hear pawing at the front door when I'm home with some of my younger siblings, and lo and behold, it's the cat. I remember this cat, and again, I really wish I could pick her up and show y'all on the camera so you guys can see. I vividly remember this cat being uh, dark gray with no stripes, just a plain, just dark gray cat, almost black, like a dull black, faded kind of black color, with like kind of like brownish yellowish eyes. Keep that image in your head. Dark gray cat, no stripes, brownish yellowish eyes. This cat we have in our house now got the same microchip in it from when it was chipped before when they got it. And this cat is light gray.
The chip alone is proof, right?
That it should be the same cat, and that's why I call it because it's it's not the same cat to me. It's got green eyes, like a dark, I don't want to say dark green, like a kind of like a jade color, like a dull jade color. The fur on this cat is light gray with black stripes, like a tiger, and it doesn't act right. This corner, for those of you who can see in the camera, this corner up here is the corner that all the animals growl at.
Why is it? I know it's a lighting thing that it looks supposed to look darker, but it looks darker on this camera.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, Jesus. I don't like staring at that spot. I've been staring at it this whole time, too.
Like, now I gotta look at it. Oh, fuck. Why did you say something, man? It's right there.
Did you make it darker?
Well, nobody tries it tonight.
Spooky cats. But anyways, this cat, comes home, and like I've always said, and we kind of dropped it by now because, we always thought, well, if whatever this thing is going to kill us, it would have done it by now because it's been years since I pointed out that I don't think this is the same cat we have, even though it's got the same microchip in it. It's got different eye color. The fur is different. It has stripes on it, which I don't know how a cat just, like, I can kind of see the argument that maybe the fur would, like, lighten up or something being out in the sun all day or something. I don't know. That's, like, the only reason I can give. But it has black stripes now. Or did, because we've had to shave it since then because of cancer.
Okay.
But as black stripes, the overall, like the base fur color has changed, and the eye color looks different, and it's as youthful as it's ever been. But the cat's like 15 years older than it was back then. Not a single problem other than.
So, this begs me to think of the whole 9 lives theory. Because someone came up with that, because there's some truth to that in history somewhere. It's just long buried and forgotten to the world, but who was the first person to say anything about cats having 9 lives? You might have, like, a legendary descendant cat or some shit.
I used to joke about it because just, like, Native Americans in our family and all that, like we got a skinwalker in our house in our family.
Oh my god, you're right.
Like I used to joke about that all the time, and like again, like we kind of just like brushed it off because like again, like haha, if something was gonna happen to us, it would have happened by now, haha. But it's I don't know, it doesn't like the way the cat like looks at people or like looks at things like not like cat. I don't know, like if that's weird, but
I have to meet this cat.
It like analyzes things when she looks at stuff, like it's learning.
Leering.
Like, like it's weird. It's I don't like looking at the cat. She stays in here because this is where my brother used to sleep in. But he's deployed now, and I moved back in, so I'm in here now. But she lingers in here, like this is her territory. But like I don't know the way she like looks at things, looks at people, looks at that area of the wall,
the black spot.
Just the overall like physical makeup of the cat, the just super youthful energy of the cat for it being as old as it is, not having any like issues walking around, getting around, or anything like that. Just freaky.
Yeah.
It's just eerie. It's just a very eerie animal.
Dude, so Skinwalker sounds very plausible. The 9 lives thing sounds, also sort of weirdly plausible to me. Another thing, alien replacement. They didn't get it just right, but they abducted it, did what they did for the 3 weeks or so almost, and then dumped it back. That's theory number
Being
3.
infiltrated.
Because that this isn't the first time I've heard of that, not just with animals, but with humans. Like, we're getting into some shit here.
I still go back and rewatch it sometimes, but back then that was the thing that I used to say too, was the whole like the cat was abducted and they sent like thing they sent back shouldn't have been here. Like it's someone messed up. Um, if you're familiar with the Twilight Zone, there's an episode on this where some pilots they go up into space, they come back, and they should not have been brought back. And that's the whole premise of the episode. They start disappearing, and I used to joke about that, like, oh, someone up there made a mistake and let the cat back when it shouldn't have been brought back. It just, I don't know, it used to freak me out.
That or
It
your
still
cat
does.
is,
Even speaking about it is giving me the chills in my room right now.
theory number 4, your cat is, from outside the simulation. Shit, I don't know. This is a fucked up topic.
Maybe the cat's trying to tell you something, man.
Might never know.
Maybe if you hold its paw, it'll take you to the secret door.
So if the animals we have were ever going to tell me something, it's that there's something following me that's been following me throughout my life. And this is why I say like I have a book, because there's other stories that I don't want to bring up.
Save that for the
like,
one-on-one.
Here specifically, while we're in this setting, like the only one I'm bringing
Yeah.
up is like this section of the room.
The spot that
part of the
seems to
wall.
keep getting darker.
They,
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's getting darker.
Like the one dog that you guys kind of saw in the camera, Rocky, he's here sleeping now. But every now and again, all the dogs will like just out of nowhere just barge in here, like ready to just kill and destroy something over here in this neck of the woods. Like one or two will be on the bed, like ready to pounce from the bed. One is over here, like on the ground, like kind of next to me, where I have my laptop sitting on this tray. Like on this section, they're just like cornering whatever is where this dresser is in this section of the wall. It's just, I don't know, it's very freaky.
Is that a Dixie cup?
The Dickies
That's
cup.
Oh, that is a Dixie cup.
Dickies.
Hell yeah, I like those cups.
So, we're pretty deep in. Anyone else got anything?
I only had that one story.
Okay. Dom, you good?
I could talk about River Legacy Park. It's pretty creepy. I don't know if I'd say haunt, but like people have definitely died in that area, and it's fucking creepy at night. Went there on Halloween. Like not Halloween. It was like November. It was a couple days after Halloween, just like a really cold night, and it goes like the Trinity River runs through it, and that also casts fog. But that fog could just create these like 15-foot tall pillars that just kind of float down the river and look creepy at it. And I don't know, there's supposed to be this like down this one path. There's the Screaming Bridge, where like a bunch of teenagers rammed, like it was like a 1-lane bridge for cars, and it was this old rinky-dink hillbilly truck that had its lights off going on one side, and a bunch of kids coming back from some sort of like school event on the other side, and they both just collided into each other, and then they both essentially threw each other into the river. And everybody fucking died.
Yeah,
and,
no one gets out of that
It's
scenario.
reported that you like hear screams there. We never heard screams there, but like the entire walk there was just creepily, overwhelmingly silent.
Well, I mean, that might be because, like, so there's a theory that Halloween night, is the only night where it's the night with the spirits, the spirit world and our world, whatever the dimensional medium is, that it's the closest that it could be, you know. It's the solstice of the spirit world, you know. And I feel like, you know, why would those kids want to be there during Halloween? You got to go there on some normal night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, fuck, no!
Oh.
Oh, God,
they're
it's
not
cute,
too
too,
evil
damn it!
looking. Yeah, you know what? I'm down with Demon. Demon Cat can chill with
Oh,
Demon
he's
Cat.
so cute. Look at him.
Yeah, she's
Got them
pretty
little
chill.
mittens.
Remember that cat
I don't care. I'm pushing that aside.
is
It's
like
a cute-ass
25
cat,
years
man.
old.
Doppelkidder is chill in my heart.
I said she was gonna kill me if she'd have done it by now. And now that I brought it up, she might.
She's like, oh no, my secret is revealed. No, what's worse, here's what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna go missing tonight, or I'm gonna die. This episode's never gonna air. She's gonna make
I'll
sure.
post it for you. Don't worry.
My password to my computer is
on your computer of you getting murdered by that. But like,
nope.
We should all go down to River Legacy Park.
Nope.
Like Cold Night at some point. That place is fucking vibes galore. Oh shit! I remembered one thing about the Lakeworth Woods. Recently, with a couple of those same friends that I went to River Legacy Park with. Not recently. God, it's been years. Holy shit! Sorry. My brain's small. But yeah, no, like a couple years back, I went back to Lakeworth to try and adventure in the woods again, and it took us forever to finally find a way, like an opening into the woods from where we parked. And when we finally got in, and we were like just walking in a straight line, like through this like clear area, and we somehow ended up at the like entrance that we walked. Straight line, didn't turn around, didn't make any turns.
What?
Just came out the entrance.
Oh no! That's some backroom shit, dude.
Oh yeah. That was like really
something.
weird, like,
something didn't want you to go further.
Yeah, like a couple of them were like we must have got turned around. We must have made turns that we didn't notice. But like there was like it was like 50-50 on like we must have gotten turned around, and it was like no, we were going in a straight line. We didn't turn at all. We were just walking in a straight line.
Nah, nope. I would be out of there so fast.
Oh yeah, we ended up because it was like an hour and a half to get to that spot, and then it spit us back out the entrance.
That's a fuck this. Let's go to Waffle House move.
It was raining too. It started raining out of nowhere, and it's just like okay, we're being vibed out. We're being vibed out of the. We'll come back later.
Like I said, dude, it's got to be like certain nights where the activity's higher.
Oh yeah.
Could be closer to an event. I mean, there's so many different possibilities. Like with Demon Cat.
I think I found another. It's not a try. It's like you stop at another park that's adjacent from it, and then you walk through that park until you get into it.
Damn, man. Park sounds pretty interesting. I'd probably shit myself if I went in, but I'm willing to give it a go. You only live once, right?
Bring back fossils, dude. It's awesome. Like full like here, I've got one right here. Ammonite fossil.
Now we're showing things on camera of location.
Yeah,
said creepy
visual
vibes.
gag, guys. Look at the camera that's not there.
This camera has seen too much.
Editor, edit in Ammonite fossil.
Oh, that's gonna, dude. I wanted to do that kind of stuff with the YouTube, but like, oh my god, it's so much work.
Yeah, I got you.
Maybe if we ever reach at like a certain level, but for now, I'm just willing to chill and get content out as fast as I can, because the more genres we spill into, the better chances we have of people following. I'm getting people following the Instagram from posting dumb pictures of my anime figures. So, like things are moving.
Yeah. That's how you do it, dude.
But we're building. I'm actually gonna post the If anybody follows the Instagram, you might even be able to go see it if, you know, it doesn't get taken down. But I'm going to tag Halo Infinite and 343, Season 2, Lone Wolves, Microsoft. I'm going to tag it all on that 420 post that I made in the Discord, where it's, you know, H20, but it was cut off by the, you know, thing. Perfect photo. Like, that's going to go into... Yeah, I'm going to Instagram post that here in a bit.
Hell yeah.
Because I want to try and do daily posts to keep trying, you know, constant attraction. People come and they see a picture of it they like from one of the tags, and they, you know, they see that this person posts this kind of dumb shit daily. You know, maybe drop a follow. Which, by the way, if you're listening to this and you haven't followed, go check it out. I'm not going to shamelessly plug myself, but, you know, it's there.
Smash that like button.
So we found a spot.
Description.
I will go next.
You get a bowling pin.
This one is going to take place from right around the time I was born. So I don't remember any of it. But this is secondhand accounts. So I was supposed to be born in May. I was born in March. Universe had other plans. Yeah, I was incubated for the first few weeks of my life. But anyway, right around the time I was supposed to be born, and I was my grandmother's first grandchild. So she was really happy to, you know, finally get a grandkid because she kept asking all her kids for him. But anyway, I was the first. And I would end up being the only that she would see alive because right around the time I was supposed to be born, Grandma, who spoiled me, passed away in a car accident. Here's where things started to imprint. So my grandma wasn't the biggest fan of my dad, from what I hear. And she didn't like the way that his mail, because he was living with them at the time, she didn't like the way that his mail and my mom's mail came together. So whenever my grandma was at my mom and dad's house, yeah, they were living in separate houses, of course. What am I saying? Anyway, whenever my grandma would come over and, you know, she would see the mail, she would separate the mail. My mom's in one stack, my dad's in the other. She didn't like them together. Another thing she would do is my dad would let the curtains down because I guess he didn't like the sun glare. She would tie them up because she hated the way he would keep them down. That or it's the other way around and it's down and up, down. But regardless, she hated the way he did the curtains, so she would do it a different way. After her passing, the mail would start to separate in the kitchen on its own. They would, you know, put the mail in one stack on the, you know, counter when they came in, and then eventually later on in the day it would be separated by his stack, her stack, just like my grandma used to do. Same with the curtains. My dad would do it his way. Sure enough, overnight, they change the other way, the way she used to like them. The final kicker was her favorite show was I Love Lucy. My mom saw her as an apparition on the couch watching I Love Lucy one night. Everyone had went to bed. The TV was off, guys. How did the TV turn on? And she said she stared at her. So between all those occurrences together, like, I'm telling you, man, she's been following from the very beginning. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be alive, according to doctors. They were like, oh, and if he does live, you know, past 10 or whatever, you know, he's going to have all kinds of deformalities, and he's not going to walk, and he's not going to talk, and all that crap. So, I don't know, man. It's weird, because I feel like a lot of us are here for... I feel like the universe has purpose for everybody. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass here, but, like... why are we all right here today? This is where you tell me to stop smoking before the show.
Dude, you gotta quit the ayahuasca. You gotta quit the ayahuasca before the
We need a multi-part for this podcast episode.
No, yeah, we're going to have to do another episode because we're already at an hour and a half almost right now. Back on track, marker here. All right, brief intermission over. Anyone else? We're just gonna keep this rolling.
I remember this one thing from when we first moved into that apartment in Lake Worth. We were like walking in one of the first times to the apartment since we like fully moved in, and the apartment from across us, they had those like bar door handles, and that thing just started turning, like wiggling on the other side. We were like, oh, it's just the neighbors fucking. And we went in our house, and like when we exited, it like shook again, and we're like, they're just screwing with us and not talking. We knocked on the door, no answer, and we just kind of continued through our day. And then like a good month in to like living there, somebody moved in to the place across from us. It was just like,
Dude,
so
it was an
what?
empty house.
Yeah, it's like, was that vacant? Did the person move out and we didn't even ever like notice them? Or because like it was never clear to us. Nobody ever really talked to us about it. It was just like, oh yeah, door just wiggled at us. Then probably empty.
Damn, man.
Yeah. And also those people that moved in next to us were like crack dealers. Section 8 housing's a bitch.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think this is an hour and a half in. That's good for episode 1. We're gonna have to run this back and do this again
Alright.
sometime,
Sure.
because
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like we all definitely have more to share for the most part. I guess except Stromboli, but I mean, he's just been kind of vibing the whole time.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm listening.
Go have a haunting and then come back with us.
Yeah,
You
go
gotta
have
tell
a
us
spiritual
about a haunted
experience.
Roblox server, dude.
No, dude.
Gotta get in a Roblox server that haunts.
Dude, yeah, I'm so afraid of Hero Brian from Minecraft.
Yeah, dude.
No. So, let me scoot up. I'm falling asleep. So I was in Waco for a good weekend, and I stumbled upon a Facebook post for the Chainsaw Massacre house down in Temple. I think our audience member found like where the actual city was, and I forgot what it was, so I'll just say it's Temple. Um, and after going around Waco and going through all the nostalgic things of Bush's Chicken and Shipley Donuts and all that garbage, we took a hour or 2 hour drive all the way up there. But before we reached the actual, Chainsaw Massacre house, there's like this little small town. It wasn't a city. It was like one of those. It looks like you're watching a Western movie, and it's like really small houses, like the beginning of Smallville. And there was cars everywhere, but there was no people. And I even like, cause I was the one driving, I slowed down to see if there's people walking around or in any of the establishments. There was like no people whatsoever. And it was just me, my brother, my ex-girlfriend, and I think that was it. But there was no people at all whatsoever. I even went into the little gas station. There's nobody inside. So at that point I was like, oh shit, why the fuck did we come to this house? And pulling up, it was just fields for a good 2 minutes until you saw like an abandoned car, or it was a truck.
So you're saying that you went to the like actual property, right?
What?
Not one of the like movie sets that they moved.
No, it was a movie set.
Okay, so you went to the one in like I think it was they had one in Kingsland and one in Round Rock.
I don't know
because
what the
they
city
moved the
is.
locations of it.
Granger.
Granger.
So it was up there. But the thing is, I didn't know it was like from the set. So up to this point, I'm like, oh, dude, we're going to the actual house. There's no people here. What have I done? So at that point, my ex-girlfriend and my brother were like, we should just like turn around, and then there's nobody here.
Yeah.
I decided to keep going. It was just fields, like a good 2 minutes of just fields, and then an abandoned truck with its its emergency lights on. So we're like, okay, there's nobody around here. We just go up to the house. Pulled up to the house. We figured out it was a fucking set, which I thought was pretty cool. We took no pictures at all.
Mm.
We just stayed in the car, kind of looked at it for like a minute, and then drove 2 hours back to Dallas. But it just threw me off how there's like no people at all in the little town or the little city.
Yeah.
Going to a gas station, you're like, hello, like I'm trying to buy some fucking Gatorades, dude. Need some chug jugs for the road. And there's nobody around. It just like threw me off completely.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, small towns are really out there, man.
Like
We've
somebody
passed through a
better
few.
not. Somebody clocked out coming out of the Exxon. Decided not to lock the doors.
Well, out there, how many visitors do they really get?
No, yeah, I stole the Gatorades.
Good shit.
What the fuck are they gonna do? Stop me?
They'll punch you, dude. They'll punch you hard. The shoulder. You feel
Oh,
good.
dude, I'll fuck up my shoulder. That's my. Which shoulder? The left shoulder or the right shoulder?
The middle one. The middle shoulder.
What the fuck is my middle shoulder?
I don't know, like like right where your spine, your scapula is.
Oh,
or something.
that's a shoulder, right?
I guess it's part of your shoulder. That might just be part of the back of your neck. I don't know.
Back of my neck. They're gonna punch me in the back of my neck, dude. They're gonna kill
Yeah.
me. They're gonna fuck my shit
And
up.
then your left shoulder specifically.
Yeah, my shoulders just cave
But
in.
if you flinch at the punch of the back of the neck, they'll be like 2 for flinching.
Before this episode like spirals out of control,
ahead of y'all's conversation. But while you guys were having this, I muted myself for a second because I was trying to videotape and take pictures of what my cat was doing just now. She just started attacking my door in the door frame above my door.
Show it to us.
Well, the picture I just sent y'all was when I finally got her attention. If you guys, it's in the Discord if y'all want to open it. It's she just turned around and looked at me with those big old black fucking eyes.
Where is it?
Content channel.
Content
That's
channel.
cute, though. Come on.
It's
I don't see
cute, but god damn it, it's staring into your soul.
Ooh.
It stares in the soul the way that like cats stare into your soul with like that kind of like dullness in their facial expression.
Yeah, but she was just messing with the door.
Yeah.
She just needed the shit.
Are like massive, like
She's sending a message.
hunting.
I don't like it.
When you hear her scratch, record it because it might be Morse code.
Oof.
Feed.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no.
If we ever go to Colorado together, I thought of a cool, creepy thing we could do if we stayed, like midway through a night. Like, oh god, that's in between like DFW and Amarillo. Shit, I don't know if I found out that like just off the highway, Claude, Texas, Claude Cemetery, just in the middle of all these empty ass fields, just a random cemetery.
Nice.
Oh man, this is all right. That wraps it up for this week's episode of the Ride Home podcast. Thank you guys for being on the show. As always, we're gonna have to run this back. We're gonna run this back definitely.
Yeah, this was pretty fun. I had a good time.
Oh yeah, excited for part 2.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Episode 3 in the books. We're gonna call it here. All right.
No joke.
Oh yeah, episode 3. Yeah. So.
You gotta make a driving joke, man.
That's for the beginning. I don't do that at the end.
Make sure you crash, like you go 60 miles an hour into a 7.
The Ride Home podcast, THR logo, and intro tracks are original products of Trigger Happy Projects Media Group. Please do not duplicate or distribute without permission.